Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we're surrounded by technology, but have you ever stopped to wonder how it all works? Today, we're going to crack the code, the fundamental language behind literally everything your computer does. We're going to pull back the curtain and show you the surprisingly simple alphabet it's all written in.
All right, let's start with a puzzle. Think about it. Your computer, at its very core, is just a giant box of switches. Millions, even billions of tiny switches that can only be on or off. That's it. So how on earth does that incredibly simple setup create the rich, vibrant, complex digital world we all live in every single day?
Well, believe it or not, the answer comes down to a language that only has a two-letter alphabet. It's called binary. And everything, and I mean everything, boils down to just two symbols. A 0, which means a switch is off, and a 1, which means a switch is on. That's the whole language.
And this is the crucial part. Every single thing you do, that photo you just posted, that email you're about to send, your favorite song on repeat, all of it has to be translated into this super simple on-off language before the computer can do anything with it.
You know, this is where it gets really interesting, because it shows the massive difference between how we count and how a computer counts. We humans use a base 10 system, right? Probably because we have 10 fingers. Our columns are ones, tens, hundreds, powers of 10. But a computer? It only has those two states, on and off. So it uses a base 2 system, where every column just doubles. You've got the ones column, the twos, the fours, the eights, and on and on.
Okay, so how does that actually work? How do you build any number you could possibly want using just ones and zeros? Let's break it down. Think of it like a panel of light switches, and each switch is labeled with a value. So, say we want to represent the number 13. The computer just flips the 8 switch on, the 4 switch on, it leaves the 2 switch off, and flips the 1 switch on. Then you just add up the values of the switches that are on, so 8 plus 4 plus 1, and bingo, you get 13. In binary, that's just written down as 1101.
Now, for a machine, this system is perfect. It's logical, it's efficient. But for us, for a human, trying to read or write, or even just remember a long string of ones and zeros like that one on screen, it's an absolute nightmare. You're just asking for a mistake.
So this is where human ingenuity really shines. Faced with this wall of ones and zeros, computer scientists came up with a totally brilliant shorthand to make this binary language way easier for us people to read and work with.
And that shorthand? It's called hexadecimal, or just hex for short. Now, it's a base 16 system, which might sound complicated, but don't worry. It's really just a clever way to compress all that bulky binary code into a much more compact, human-friendly format.
And here is the magic trick. The reason hex works so perfectly as a shorthand is because every single possible combination of 4 binary digits, we call those bits, matches up perfectly to one single hexadecimal character. All you have to do is take that long, scary binary string and break it up into little groups of 4.
This chart shows exactly how that translation works. See, once you get past the number 9, you just start using letters. So the binary pattern 1010 becomes A, 1011 becomes B, and, just like you see here, the pattern 1101 turns into the single character D. Simple.
So remember that crazy long, unreadable binary string from a minute ago? Well, by translating each of those 4-bit chunks, it becomes this short, clean hexadecimal code, D2AF. So much easier to write down and remember, right? They mean the exact same thing. One's for the machine and the other is for us. Okay, so let's shift gears and see how this system is used for something you see and use all the time, probably without even thinking about it, defining all those millions of colors you see on the web.
Yeah, if you've ever right-clicked on a web page and viewed source, you've probably seen something just like this. That hashtag followed by a 6-character code, that is hexadecimal in action. It's telling your web browser exactly what color to show.
So just how many colors can you make this way? Well, the system uses 3 pairs of hex characters. There's 1 pair for red, 1 for green, and 1 for blue. And since each of those pairs can represent 256 different values, well, you do the math. The total combination gives us a staggering 16.7 million different colors. Amazing.
So,
Each pair of these hex characters represents a number from 0 all the way up to 255, and that number controls how much of a primary color of light you're using. So in this example, FF is the max amount of red you can have. 99 gives us a good medium dose of green, and 66 gives us a smaller splash of blue. You mix them all together, and what do you get? This very specific shade of tan.
But hex isn't just for making things look pretty on a screen. It's also used for something way more fundamental, giving every single device that connects to a network its own unique identity. This unique ID is called a MAC address. The best way to think about it is like a permanent digital fingerprint for your phone, your laptop, or even your smart TV. It's literally burned into the hardware from the factory.
And you guessed it, it's written in hex. The address is actually split into two parts. The first half identifies the company that actually made the device's network card. In this case, that code belongs to Apple. The second half is the unique serial number for that one specific device, which guarantees that no two are ever the same.
So when you take a step back and really think about it, it's kind of mind-blowing. All of this incredible complexity, this whole digital universe of vibrant colors, instant communication, and billions of unique devices. It's all built from the simplest possible idea, a switch that's either on or off.
And that leaves us with a final, really fascinating thought to chew on. If we, as a species, have already managed to build all of this from just a 0 and a 1, what comes next? What's the true limit of what these two simple little digits can create?